Here's what happened during week 8 of the Greenhouse Season 2. For the final 6 Greenhouse Challenge, the players played a type of tic-tac-toe that involved some kind of Russian nesting doll type of scenario. It was pretty fun. The video was in 2x speed. I liked it. And the 3 players that entered the greenhouse were Patrick, Brody, and Clay, in that order. At the flower picking ceremony, Brody claimed sunflower, Patrick claimed rose, and Clay claimed 2 seeds. As the greenhouse players prepared for the round, they agreed that it was probably Maddie's time to go. Brody would nominate Maddie, and Patrick said that he wanted to nominate Johnny as a pawn, though he was clearly protecting his close ally Laura. Patrick pulled Laura to the side and explained that he, Laura, and Maddie had an opportunity to make a move against Brody, Clay, and Johnny here. Because Laura would be able to vote at the banishment, she could tie the vote, and then Patrick would break the vote and save Maddie, sending home most likely Johnny. Brody told Maddie that he planned to nominate Maddie, which came as a surprise to Maddie because Brody just made a Final Four deal with Maddie, Laura, and Patrick.
Some of the alliances that I made probably are going against what we said before. And I feel like we have a good, if they would go with the group, that's a good way that we could freeze some people out and get them out.
You can use names.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I feel like we could probably freeze Clay or Johnny out because me, Laura, Brody, and Patrick all said that we would have each other's backs. And Brody's trying to put me up. So it makes me feel a little bit nervous. But we'll see. I don't know. We'll see where this goes. Because I will have enough for Uproot if he does put me up. So.
Brody explained to Clay and Johnny that the 3 of them would be able to control the vote this week as long as one of them was voting. Brody and Johnny each still had an extra vote. They could pass those votes to the voting member of their alliance, and they would be able to ensure that Maddie would go home. Patrick explained that he would be nominating Johnny as a quote-unquote pawn against Maddie. Johnny expressed that he would rather Brody nominate him so that Johnny could receive a seed. Patrick agreed, and Johnny went and asked Brody to nominate him instead. Patrick asked Brody exactly who Brody wanted to see go home this week. Brody wanted to see Maddie leave, according to this conversation, because he felt like it was Maddie's turn to go. Brody explained to Johnny that he had to nominate Maddie here because if Brody nominated Johnny, Patrick would be able to nominate Clay, ensuring that either Johnny or Clay would be on the block at the banishment ceremony. Maddie and Johnny were nominated. With the nominees in place, Patrick said that the best plan for Patrick, Laura, and Maddie would be for Maddie to bid on Uproot and then pass that Uproot to Laura, allowing Laura to save Maddie, keeping both immune.
Okay, so I would just pass it to Laura.
Yeah, just
Okay.
throw it to her.
Cool.
Yeah, so I
can
think
do
that's
that.
the plan. I don't know if you want to go bid now, just to kind of get.
Johnny and Clay expressed frustration for being left out of the Victoria vote during the previous round. They agreed that they wanted to take control here. They decided to pool their seeds and have Clay bid for Uproot so that Clay could save Johnny and keep both of them immune. And once that Maddie bid 4 seeds on Uproot, it was clear that a bidding war was in the making. When Patrick had a moment with Johnny, he apologized for nominating Johnny and said that Johnny should buy Uproot for himself. If Johnny bought the Uproot and used it on himself, this would conveniently leave Clay vulnerable.
In the last round, that alliance flipped Brody by making him nervous that Victoria would not take him to final 3 over me, which, I mean, she wouldn't, but neither will they. So I'm like, and that's what I keep telling him, I'm like, yes, Victoria and I were a clearer alliance, but so are they, so now they have put Maddie, who clearly needs to be the one to go next. Love you, 6th place, congrats, you made it. But they put Johnny up. Between Johnny and I, we have 15 seeds. So I'm going to win the auction for the Uproot, take Johnny off, save myself, and they could put sweet Laura up. And then we'll decide what the fuck's gonna happen. Because Brody is starting to play games with me, and I don't like that. And Patrick apparently has the gift of gab, and I'm not into it. So, y'all want a drama? You gonna get it now. You really will. Because I am what? Psychotic.
Clay sat Brody down and explained the plan to save both him and Johnny with the uproot. Clay then explained a path to the final 3 with Brody, Johnny, and Clay.
We get the uproot. I played to save Johnny. We're both safe. They put Laura out. Then we decide if we're voting Laura or Maddie. Then, next round, we have to get Laura or Patrick off. Then it's final 4.
like that.
Us 3, knock the other one out, and we're final 3. And it's done.
I like that. It's a great plan.
With a plan in place, Clay bid 5 seeds on uproot. Patrick brought up having Maddie bid more on uproot so that Clay and Johnny would burn more of their seeds. However, Brody used his list of everyone's seeds that he got from the seed count to explain that Brody, Patrick, and Laura would have the most seeds in the game if they just let Maddie go here.
And Laura
16.
would use them for us. And
16.
Yeah.
That's definitely majority.
Yeah. Okay. So this is perfect. They don't even need to bid me. I think we're in a good spot either way.
With this information, Patrick dropped the idea of bidding higher on uproot. However, keep in mind that this left Clay, Johnny, and Brody with more seeds than Patrick, Maddie, and Laura. Clay and Johnny were able to buy uproot while keeping the majority of seeds, assuming that Brody's going to stay with them. At the end of the auction, Clay saved Johnny, and Laura was the only person left to face Maddie on the block. I also do want to give a shout out that 4 of the final 6 went unnominated before this round. In the moments before the banishment, Johnny told Maddie that he would keep Maddie safe. And Clay told Laura that he would keep Laura safe. Patrick pulled Brody to the side and explained that Clay was probably the biggest jury threat left in the game because of his affiliation with the Flytrap Girls, who made up 3 of the 7 jury spots. Brody agreed that eliminating Clay was a must, and also the two agreed that Johnny's friendly nature would probably win Johnny some jury votes. Brody, Johnny, and Clay agreed that Laura was the bigger threat of the 2 people on the block. Clay expressed shock that he was able to buy uproot for so few seeds. And at the banishment ceremony, Laura was sent home. Patrick won the Daisy Chain Immunity Challenge, which involved answering trivia questions about the season. At the Daisy Chain, Maddie was left unpicked and she chose Brody to face her on the block. At the start of the auction, Clay, Johnny, and Brody had 14 seeds, while Patrick and Maddie had 12 seeds. Brody, with his 3 seeds, seemed to be the kingmaker here. Because Maddie had nominated Brody, it seemed like a fairly easy decision for Brody. He talked with Clay and the 2 agreed to leave the nominations the same to save seeds for the final 4, sending Maddie out here. Patrick expressed that Maddie's decision to nominate Brody was probably going to seal her fate. When Maddie revealed that she had 8 seeds, they agreed that Maddie should save those seeds for the final 4 and instead rely on swaying votes to stay.
I really thought I was going to be in the final. I'm not so sure anymore. Because Brody's a little sneaky ass. I feel like he's going to fuck with them more than me. And I feel like Clay's just going to win the game. Because he has the whole jury on lock. But I don't even think Brody cares. Very confused.
Maddie campaigned for Johnny's vote, stressing that she has played an honest game while Brody has openly been playing both sides for most of the greenhouse. Johnny stayed very neutral and was performing a very mute type of reaction. Patrick approached Johnny and asked who Johnny thought were the biggest jury threats in the game. Johnny surprisingly responded with Maddie.
I think, just from my perspective, I was on the jury. Not that I want her to go. I'm just saying Maddie has played in a very impressive game.
You think?
By being able to come this far?
No, because I know for sure that there's a few people in the jury who vehemently do not like her.
Oh.
And they're having an open discussion right now, and I feel like those people are going to drive that point home. But what I do think is Clay has those 3 girls that are almost definitely going to, and that's 3 out of 7. me and Brody were talking about going to the end with you, but I'm down to make it me, you, and Maddie if you want. But I feel like Clay's...
God, my brain's blown.
No, I know. I know I'm dropping a lot on you right now, but Clay scares the shit out of me. I just feel like me and you for sure, and then it's whoever you need to help you bring. But my big thing is Clay being there scares the shit out of me.
Johnny approached longtime allies Brody and Clay and solidified a vote against Maddie at the upcoming banishment ceremony. Johnny and Clay discussed jury threats, and they agreed that Brody probably was not a contender to win. Brody had burned bridges with many of the jury members and probably wasn't looking at a favorable jury. Patrick continued to sell Clay's threat level to Brody, and the two agreed that moving into the Final Four, one of them could be voted to win final immunity and then vote to eliminate Clay in 4th place. At the end of the auction, nothing was purchased, and the final nominees for the week were Maddie and Brody. And at the banishment ceremony, Maddie was finally banished from the Greenhouse game. Only 4 remain. The finale is coming up. The story continues next week on The Greenhouse Season 2.